You
Oh
really
my
are.
gosh. Yeah, you look gorgeous. Like, okay.
Oh,
So
thank you. Well,
I
if
think
you
we're
were in
starting
person,
to
you'd see how
stream.
greasy. Oh, is it
Okay.
on?
I think we're starting to stream. So let's just check to see if we're actually live.
Okay, I'm checking. We are.
Are
We are live.
Awesome. Success. Okay. I get when people are so excited that they actually got into the right group. So,
Right?
hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
We're really, really happy to be here. We're really excited to share our stories with you in the hopes that they will inspire you to think about ways to reach your health goals. We really just want to share what we've experienced, what we've found with these products, things that have worked for us, and maybe they're going to work for you, maybe they're going to work for a friend of yours. We'd like to give you enough information that you can choose what's right for you at this time. So we've got 4 ladies here who have had some very different experiences. And so I'm just going to invite them in turn to tell us why they started, what brought them to this place, what they started with, what products they started with, and what they found and how long they've been using the products, and whether they found some maybe other benefits that they really hadn't expected when they got started. So I'm going to let each one introduce themselves as we go around. My name is Sherri Grant. I'm a farmer rancher from Southwest Saskatchewan, and I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves as we go around. So I'm going to start with Nicole Crawford.
All right, yeah, so my name is Nicole, or Nikki. I go by Nikki too, and my background is in social work, but I've been a stay-at-home mom now for 9 years. My husband, he works away and he's typically gone 2 to 3 weeks at a time, but sometimes a bit longer. And we've got 3 little ones at home there now, 9, 6, and just about 5. So for me, when plexus came into my life, I'd been struggling with anxiety for about 4.5 years. And my anxiety was all around the fear of something bad happening to me and just being taken from my kids and my husband too soon. And I just was living in a space where I was just completely consumed with these terrifying and negative thoughts that just seemed to play on this continuous reel in my head. I got to a point where I was having multiple anxiety and panic attacks a week. I was scared to go to bed at night because I was terrified that I wouldn't wake up in the morning. I woke up each morning terrified that it was going to be my last day. And my kids and we just stopped sharing and having like special moments and time together because I got to a place where I couldn't even take them out on walks or to the park to play because I just had so much fear in me that something bad was going to happen at any moment. It was bad. Okay. So even like reading them bedtime stories, I would be reading the words on the page, but the whole time my mind, I would be like thinking all of these things. Is this the last time I'm going to get to read to them? Is this the last time I'm going to read this particular book to them? Is someone going to be here to read to them if I'm not? It just didn't end. And even playing with them, I just couldn't be present. I was there physically, but those thoughts just were just over and over, and it just never let up. So after about 3.5 years, and another really scary anxiety attack when I was at home with the kids alone, I just decided that I couldn't do it anymore. And I actually I went on some medication. And about 8 months into that, I had already gone from the lowest dose to the highest dose. And I just started thinking about how this just really wasn't something that I wanted for myself for the long term. So I started researching natural ways to combat anxiety. And that's when I started reading and learning about candida and gut dysbiosis. And I had never heard those terms before. And I was just so shocked because I could check off so many of the signs and symptoms of those 2 things. And yeah, it was shortly after that my friend Amanda reached out to me, and she shared plexus with me and shared a bit about her story and the health improvement she was seeing. And at first I wanted to jump right in. I thought, this is perfect. This is exactly what I've been looking for. But I was also seemed like too good to be true. And I was a skeptic, and I had been struggling with anxiety and these other health issues for quite some time. So I tried a lot of things that never really quite panned out. And so I sat on the fence for another maybe like 8 to 10 months, until I finally chatted with my husband about giving it a shot. And I'm really glad that we made that decision, because, like, as cliche as it sounds, it really did change our lives. You know, for so many years, I never thought I was going to get out of that really dark place. And I'm just so thankful and so grateful that I was able to get out of it. And yeah. So I started with the triplex, and it was around my 3rd or 4th month that I had seen some really great improvements with my mood and my anxiety. And so my doctor was supporting me and helping me to wean off my medication. And I've actually been off my medication now for 3 years, and it's been going really, really great. Along with the anxiety, I also struggled really bad with IBS and food sensitivities. And I got to a point where I just didn't know what was going to set my stomach off. So if I had to leave my house, I was popping over the counter medication to back myself up, or I just wouldn't eat at all. And there was a lot of stomach pain and just like lots of gas and bloating and cramping that came along with that. And I was also always just super anxious and nervous and stressed if I had to be out of my home and somewhere where I didn't have a bathroom really close by. And I was just really tired and exhausted all the time. I wasn't sleeping good. I never woke up feeling like rested. I had really bad sugar cravings and really ferocious and unpredictable monthly cycles. A lot of pain with that, with some cysts on my ovaries, and really bad anxiety or eczema on my hands too. Real hot mess. But as I continued and was consistent with the triplex and my other products that I started adding in over time, I stayed engaged in my support group, which was awesome. I had some ladies, they're there in your support chat helping you getting started and adjusting dosage and figuring out really what's the best fit for you and your body and helping you through any detox you might hit. And with some time and patience in that process, all of those health issues just started to get better and started to improve. So these past 3 years have just blessed me like far beyond my health. The people and the friendships that have blossomed along the way are just so invaluable. And I just never could have dreamt of that when I decided to click join and just take a chance on these gut health products and the infamous pink drink. So that is a little nutshell of my story.
Fabulous, fabulous. So Nikki, you mentioned children, family. Do any of your other family members use products, and what have they noticed?
My mom actually, she does the X Factor and the Vital Biome, and even those two products together for her have helped her a lot with energy and her anxiety that she struggled with. My kids like to steal my pink drink when I'm nice enough to share, but they do take the kids line. And then my husband has a really pretty great story that maybe I'll get him to share one day. But he almost takes more than me right now, so I won't go through that list.
Well, that is fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And he's had his energy improved and he's lost 40 pounds and lots of great stuff. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much. And we hope you're able to stay with us throughout the time, but I do know that if your kids happen to need you, they have to go. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to ask Chelsea next if she would share her experiences.
Hey, yeah, for sure. And Sherri, could you ask me those questions as I go along? Otherwise, I'm just gonna sail to another.
Absolutely. So we're going to start out with, why did you start?
So I got started because my friend Alicia, I had met her at a Bible camp. We had been staff together, and she had been, I saw her posting about Plexus, and I saw her. She'd inboxed me a few times about it, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, I can go to the bathroom, okay, I don't struggle with bloating, so I don't know why you want me to do this, but because I thought it was just for that, but it's really for so many things. But I was just kind of like, I know I'm not really into it. and she just kept, popping into my life here, there, and everywhere. And at some point, she sent me some testimonies and some videos about some parents talking about how they had energy again. And I was like, could use some of that. I could use some of that. Because I had struggled with a huge amount of fatigue and dizziness, just because of my anemia and my um, low blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. But also, that was a direct result of a candida overgrowth. I had my appendix taken out shortly after my wedding. Woohoo! Let's start it out on the right foot. Hey, why don't we? So that was awful. And but it was pretty bad. I had rashes, and I was really sensitive to anything sweet or even starchy, and so I couldn't have a lot of those things. I did do some herbal remedies, and those helped me to a point, but they were extremely expensive, and I couldn't do them for very long. And yeah, I did see some difference, but not completely. I still was getting rashy around my mouth if I ate potato chips. But anyway, so she just kept messaging me, and she was like, hey, she go this, and then she posted something about like a sale or something, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And she's like, all right. And so I got started. Um, and I had already been selling for two other like direct sales companies at that time. And it was right before my baby girl was about to be born is when I said yes to starting Plexus. And so she's like telling me, hey, if you ever want to share, like there's a way to get your products for free. And I was just kind of like, no. Because I am about to have my second child and I have two direct sales companies, so I don't need to make myself insane. And yeah, but as it went on, I started on it's I kind of started on, I don't know how to exactly say it. I basically started on the Slim, the Vital Biome, and the Bio Cleanse.
Okay.
Just because and the ease, just because I realized there's a few products that when they came in the mail I wasn't able to take them for other reasons, and so I was like, oh, whoops. But I started noticing within a couple weeks that yeah, I was getting my energy back even though I had just had a C-section, and so that was painful in and of itself. But I like my swelling wasn't too bad either, and my inflammation went down really well actually. And I was kind of shocked because there was a friend who had had a C-section earlier than I had, only by a couple months, and she was like, and to this day she still is in kind of, she's having a lot of issues with that. And it's been like 9 months since my baby girl was born, so I've been doing it for 9 months now. And so yeah, my inflammation was going down, but the one thing that blew my mind was we were driving to Manitoba because I was going to spend some time with my family. The baby girl was 6 weeks old. And so I had been doing Plexus for 6 weeks. And we're driving. I see someone eating an ice cream cone, and then I heard someone else talking about ice cream. And I just totally was like, oh yeah, whatever. And then I kept going along, and then I thought about it, and I was like, Reiner, that's my husband, something is happening to me. If someone would have mentioned ice cream before, I would have been like, honey, we have got to get ice cream. And I would have had this insatiable desire, like, we need sugar now. And I didn't even want it. I mean, if someone offered it to me, I would have taken it. It would have been fine. But like, I had no desire to get any. And I was like, this is really strange. I'm the kind of girl that would eat like half a bucket of ice cream and then look around for something else sweet to eat. Like, I was addicted to sugar. But the thing is, I had been on a low sugar to zero sugar diet for like ever since we started getting married because of my candida issue. But my cravings never left. ever, even when I was doing the herbs. And so I was like, this is really something. I finally have control over my sugar cravings. What the heck is in this stuff? So I was starting to look into the products and I was like, these are actually really legit ingredients. Like, there's no like, fake stuff in here. And I'm just like, I was shocked. I was like, okay, so this is legit. And then I started following some of the testimonial pages. The one that's I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's amazing. It's called the Plexus Product Testimony page. Oh my goodness. I started seeing that it was like thing after thing after thing, like basically you name it, any health issue, you know what? Plexus doesn't heal those things directly, but it gets to the root issue of all the other things that those things spring from. So I was so surprised. I started seeing things, a bunch of other people seeing great success with so many different health issues. And I was really thinking to myself, like, I know people with these problems. They're all over my Facebook feed saying, wow, this sucks. I hate how I'm feeling. It's like, I would be so selfish to keep that to myself. So I decided to start sharing and I haven't stopped. I mean, I love how I feel and that's what keeps me going. And there's been a few bumps along the way where I've thought to myself, like, is this really what I should be doing? What's going on? Like what if I like should I be sharing, because some people, they wonder if you have an ulterior motive, if you really want to help them, or if you're just doing it for yourself. And I just started to realize, like, I know for a fact I would not stop taking these products no matter what, even if for some reason I stopped selling. But for Pete's sake, like, even if I stopped selling, I wouldn't be able to stop sharing about it. I'd still tell people you should do it. Even if you don't get it through me, you need to get some of this stuff because it works. It so works. And so, yeah, I don't know
Awesome.
what else to say. I have really loved the community so much, and I've really adored the people that I've been able to help through this to this journey. It's just, we're hope dealers. We deal hope, not dope.
There we go. That's beautiful, Chelsea. And that's an awesome story because, there's a few people that they think they're fine. They don't think they need anything. And after they realize they were not feeling their best, they could feel better. And no, Plexus doesn't claim to diagnose or treat anything. When we actually give our body the resources it needs,
That's right.
miracles can happen. So thank you so much. Carrie, would you be willing to share your story, please?
Well, my pleasure. Yes. So I'm Carrie Clausen. I'm from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. In the process of moving at the moment, but that's great. I'm always happy to stop and pause and talk Plexus. My story is not that of, oh, I was feeling fine and didn't know I needed these. I'm the big story. So my story is that of migraines, mainly. They started when I was 15 and they were big. To get through my graduation alone, I went to the ER twice in that one day just to get through the ceremony. Yeah, they consumed my life, and all plans and all things revolved around how I was feeling and if I could actually commit to doing any activity or not. So I went to Bible school after high school, and 1 month there, still learning about triggers and all the things of the migraine world. There was 1 month in living in the dorm that I was driven to the ER emergency room 10 times. So they were prevalent and very much my life. And I saw specialists. I did all the things and tried all the things, and to no avail. So fast forward, somehow being sick and migraine laden, I found a husband, had me some babies, whatever. And I was in the phase of trying to show up for my kids and just trying to be a mom. And I was seeing naturopaths, I was doing all the things, taking hormone treatments, Like, I kid you not, I tried everything. I chopped off my hair because the doctor said it was too heavy. I got glasses, even though I didn't really have a prescription. I almost got braces, even though I have straight teeth, but it could be something in my bite, right? Like, I tried everything. And like, when I say migraines, I mean hug the toilet for 3 days, not able to show up in my life. So I think we all have those friends on Facebook who type they have a migraine. And I chuckle. I feel for them, but I chuckle. Like, there would be no way I could look at a screen if I was in a migraine state. So anyways, that's not a whose migraine's worse story. But anyway, that is the reality of it. And so after trying all the things for 22 years, I know, I can't hardly be that old. Yes, for 22 years, I had the migraines, struggled with all the things, tried all the things. I saw these claims of plexus on Facebook. And really, I mean, really, as if when I've tried all the expensive things, all the wacky, wonky things, and some sort of plant-based fancy colored drink is going to change my life. Doubt it, highly doubt it. But my husband encouraged me to try it. What spouse doesn't want their partner to feel their best, right? So 60-day money back guarantee. I thought I'd just try it, use it, get my money back. Could tell him I tried something, right? It was all good. I noticed things right away. I noticed that I wasn't ransacking my kids' Halloween stash. Like, what in the world? I had cravings? I didn't even know I did, because every mom does that, right? I was sleeping better, which I was struggling with insomnia, but I didn't realize that was a problem. I had major bathroom issues. I thought that was kind of normal too. And I actually was dealing with fibromyalgia at the time. So I noticed that that pain was starting to leave my arms, and like, my arms were aching all the time. I was dropping dishes that I was trying to lift up into the cupboard. I dropped my baby girl over her crib. I mean, it was fine over the crib, but like, my arms were giving out and my health issues were compounding and starting to show up in different ways. So this whole gut health thing, I'm not a researcher. I'd never heard about it. Nobody ever mentioned it to me. And I was doing natural stuff too. But I noticed stuff right away. And if you would ask me, I would have told you I was healthy, other than I have these migraines. But I apparently had some other issues. So whatever. Yeah, if I didn't have a migraine, I had a daily headache. Like, I was a very unwell woman. So plexus, yeah, to be just as cheesy as Nikki, it changed my life and it changed my family, and it's given us a life because I can show up and I can make plans and commit to things. And it's just, when I think of where I was 4 years ago, because I think my little anniversary is coming up here. It'll be 4 years in May. No, I don't know when it is, but 4 years almost. And I just can't even hardly remember. Like, when I talk about how sick I was, I think, like, I can't even, how did we function? How did we think that was okay? Right? But you try what you can. And yeah, the hardest part was to even dream that something could help me, because I'd been disappointed so many times. So that's my plexus story. And there's so many pieces to it, but yeah, it is so good to just enjoy life and be able to show up in the life you want.
So Carrie, what products did you start with?
Right. Great question. Okay, so I started with I started with the triplex and ease. Ease was very, very key for me to deal with inflammation and like those tension headaches and headaches all the time. So that combo there was golden for me.
And you mentioned family members. Do you have family members that now take products too?
Oh heavens, we're a family of 5. Yep, all of them. All of them. My husband is off his blood pressure meds, doing good, does not nap anymore. Amazing. My middle guy has eczema, so that is improving with a diet change and with adding triplex to his schedule. And my little girl has some constipation issues, so we enjoy the bile cleanse there. And my oldest, who I have permission to say, he was a bedwetter till he was 12. And we tried everything. We even had like a zapper no, not zapper, a buzzer thing that was supposed to go off when he would wet the bed to teach him to wake up, and just nothing ever improved it. And we started him on the probiotics, and he has not wet the bed since the second day of taking that. So we love Plexus in our family, and I have other family that's on it too, but that's just my immediates. And yeah,
Wow.
life changing. Yeah.
And it's so interesting that everyone had some positive health experiences that they hadn't expected and that they hadn't thought were something that was important enough to start taking care of. And my story is a little bit like that too. When it was introduced to me, I was already taking a pile of natural products, like a bucket full. I had dealt with hormone issues all my life. I'd had painful periods as a teenager. All my life. And so when I was, say 10 years ago, I'd had serious back pain. I discovered that I was 2.5 inches shorter. The specialist called it severe osteoporosis and told me that if I didn't do something serious, I would be in a wheelchair. So it was a very rude awakening. And it took a significant amount of time to actually get to that diagnosis state. And I ended up for 10 months on daily injections of parathyroid hormone. So that's an indicator of the severity of the hormonal imbalance that I didn't know I was experiencing. I was exhausted. I've got 4 kids. You're exhausted. We're entrepreneurs. We farm and ranch. There's lots going on. I had no trouble sleeping. I went to bed, went to sleep, slept for 10, 11, however many hours I could get, and woke up exhausted. I didn't understand that that was part of an adrenal fatigue syndrome and that was all to do with thyroid and endocrine system issues. Finally, I started getting some thyroid support and I could kind of see some benefits, like some energy, some things happening. And that was really when I first started to understand where all that endocrine hormonal issues were happening. Weight's always been an issue. If your hormones don't work right, your weight's not going to be where you want it to be. It's just that simple. Doesn't matter what you eat. So in terms of all that big picture, when I was introduced to Plexus, I was like, why not? It's basically all the ingredients of products I'm taking. It's a whole integrated system. It's going to come straight to my door. It's easy. Absolutely. So that's how I got started. And I immediately shared with people close to me because I knew the kinds of issues they were having. And if I thought it would work for me, why wouldn't it work for them? So within probably 6 weeks, and I started with the triplex. That's the 3 products, the Slim, the BioCleanse, and the probiotic. And within probably about 3 weeks, I was noticing a difference in energy. I was feeling better. That sleep was actually a little more restful for me. It was the 3-month stage where I really had the aha moment. And for me, that came at corn on the cob season. And I had always been able to measure my gut transit time at corn on the cob season because you eat corn on the cob and you wait, and about 24, 36 hours later, you see it come through totally intact and you know that it came through. So you know what's going on. I was trained as a home economist, so I knew that that's what that should be. So nutrition was something I was very familiar with. That's how it was. And in this case, same thing. I'm like, oh, cool. So we'll see how this goes. And I never saw any complete kernels come through. And to start with, I was like, oh, this is not good. Like, what's happening? And then I was like, oh, no, actually, this is really good because I actually broke down and digested those kernels of corn. So this does sometimes happen when we get people started on Plexus. They experience some different feelings, some different things, and they're like, oh, this is not good. But the reality is it's really good because their body is starting to use the resources it's getting, and it's starting to be able to adjust and do the things that it was meant to do. So yes, I no longer need thyroid meds. And yes, I'm not in a wheelchair. I am 2.5 inches shorter. That has not changed, and it won't. But I feel so much better. I have so much more energy. It's so much more fun to do things. And and going from not being able to lift a grandchild because you're so much in pain and so seriously not being who you want to be, to being able to lift the grandkids and do things with them and play with them. Yeah, when we say that it gave us our lives back, yeah, for me, that's how it feels. It really did. So if any of you think that something that we've said resonated, if you've got questions of any of us, pop the questions in the comments below. Message us. We'll try to answer the questions for you. Anything else that you may want to ask us about, we're here. Our goal, all of us, is to help you find your best self. And thank you so much for taking time to listen to you. It's been fun. Do we have any questions in the comments by any chance that we need to be just answering? Is anybody? Carrie, are you watching the comments? Good job.
I
Okay.
don't actually see anything that at the moment. So I think we're okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being willing to share, being open, vulnerable, and have a wonderful evening. Bye now.